Okay, you guys. So this tutorial is going to cover slides 55 through 65. And the biggest thing that it's going to be talking about is how the criminal profilers go through 6 steps that allows them to catch a criminal. Okay. So let's back up just a little bit. We talked about this yesterday when it says signature aspects. Okay, why do they do signature moves? And it's to fulfill 2 things. Okay, so signature aspects, and once again, we're taking notes directly in your notes packet. So your notes already filled in, but you can highlight, make little side notes, whatever. So signature aspects, the emotional or psychological themes that the offender needs in order to commit the offense, right? So that the offender satisfies when they commit the offense behaviors. So once again, it's why are they doing what they're doing? Is there a sexual need? Is there a anger, frustration, aggression need that needs to be released? And so what is the underlying reason why they're doing what they're doing? Right? And that's we find them to be unique, their signature aspect. Now remember when we talked about VICAP? We talked about how we can put in a criminal's MO. And it's those unique little tidbits that are found at crime scenes that link multiple offenses together. Because once again, usually a serial killer or serial rapist, they do the same tendencies, the same MO, use the same equipment. They're going to use what they're familiar with. Sure, it's going to escalate, but the underlying part, at least in that short time frame, usually remains the same. Okay, so they're moving past signature aspects. Let's talk about what that actual MO is, because we've talked about this a ton. I wanted you and already asked you to look at what your serial killer's MO was. So your MO, known as your modus operandi, mode of operation, is a learned behavior that is dynamic and malleable. So you have to understand the terms dynamic and malleable means that they can change. It's fluid. Dynamic, you're looking at it, they do repeat a lot of the same tendencies as before, but malleable means it's going to fluctuate, it's going to change, it's going to escalate. Okay? So these are developed over time. It's continuously evolving, like we said, as offenders gain experience and confidence. So offenders refine their MOs as they learn from their mistakes. They mistakes that you hope would lead to their arrest, right? So you think about it, as they're gaining confidence, they might start off with younger age victims, and then as it gets older, it might hit to teenagers before it goes to adults. It might start off with a gun, quick and easy kill, to maybe they get more confidence and they go to stabbings, and they might go to strangulation. So it is possible that their method of kill will change as they gain more confidence, but that's a harder one to have happen. Okay, we might see more commonly where they are going after victims in the middle of the night to maybe now they're going after victims 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, to maybe they're doing it at noonday during the sun. So you see more of that behavior that changes with confidence more than you see with their method of kill. So what is your serial killer's MO? What is their trigger? Okay, what is the reasons why they're doing what they're doing? All right, so here's the big one. Now on my test, I can guarantee that I will ask you to know these steps in order and what each of them do. Okay, in order and what each of them do. All right, so we're going to start with step 1. Profiling input. This is going to the crime scene and gathering any itty bitty titty bit little piece of evidence you possibly can. This is usually where you're collecting all the hairs and the fibers, any of the soil samples, anything you possibly, blood spatter, DNA samples, saliva swabs, vomit. You're getting everything you can. Okay, you're collecting, you're taking pictures, you're collecting it all, and then you're going to try to put pieces together later on. So it's basically the collection of all the evidence, including anything found at crime scenes, derived from crime scenes, measurements, and notes. Okay, this is what you see step 1 in Criminal Minds, where they arrive at the crime scene, and everybody's busily working, collecting all the evidence they possibly can. All right, step 2. Decision process models. This is making connections. So evidence is arranged to locate any types of patterns. okay, such as whether or not the crime is part of a series of crimes, what the victims may have in common. This is where VICAP comes in hand. Maybe there was certain nylon stocking that was used to put over the face. Maybe there's really unique trilobal carpet fibers, or whatever it is that might be that unique piece of evidence that gets put into VICAP that makes these connections, okay? Or let's look at this picture. Oh, you actually have to see it over on this side. Let's see. It'll come up on that picture. Let's see if we back it up. Oh, that's a bummer. You can see it right here. Well, sorry, you guys. Let's see if I can fix that. Hold on one second. All right, guys. So I ended up just opening up a different PowerPoint that's allowing us to see the pictures. So the slide number is going to be a little bit off, but at least we can just kind of continue where we were on. Okay. So like we said, decision process models. This is making connections. So in step one, you gather all the evidence you possibly can find, and now what connections can we make? Okay. So I like this one. Here's a geographical connection where you are seeing this is more, I guess what they call maybe the kill zone, the hot zone. This is where they're finding the victims are being picked up, maybe bodies are being laid, but this is your crime scene perimeter, making the connections here. Okay. Now down here is, for whatever reason, one of the signature behaviors of this serial killer was collecting the femur bone. Now you might look at that and be like, wow, I know it's kind of hard to judge. There's not actually a measurement stick next to it. But let me just tell you, this serial killer started off with very, very young victims, as early as age 8, before it evolved and gained more confidence and more aggression, before it started going after adults. And so this is a series of bones starting from a younger age, where he finally had escalated up to an adult. Right? So decision process models, like we said, is making any type of connection you possibly can. All right, step 3. So this is the crime assessment. This is where you reconstruct the crime scene. This is where you'll see in Criminal Minds, they might walk around the crime scene and just visualize or discuss, oh, this is based on the blood spatter and the evidence, this is probably where a physical altercation took place. And then you come in, this is where maybe they sat down, or maybe this is where he held him ransom, or maybe it's where the sexual assault occurred, and then over here, blah, blah, blah. So this is where they're reconstructing the crime scene, and usually nowadays investigators will take a camcorder, walk through the house, walk through the area, and it could be highly valuable when it comes to court and showing the jury what believed had happened based on the evidence. So that's step 3. Okay, so step 1, gathering all the evidence at the crime scene. Step 2, making connections. And then step 3 is reconstructing the crime scene. Okay, and we'll review the names of those here in a minute. Okay, so this is what Criminal Minds is famous for, is they take all 3 at the beginning. Okay, all the evidence, all the possible connections, and reconstructing that crime scene where they actually can deliver a profile. Now you look at this. This is important because it helps incorporate the motives. Why are they doing what they're doing? Is it robbery? Is it sexual? Why are they doing what they're doing? And the evidence of the crime scene could help support what this is. Because once again, your behaviors are expressions of your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and that can help predict the future. All right, so this incorporates the motives, physical qualities, and personality of the perpetrator. Also, the investigators use this information to decide on the best way to interview the suspects based on their personality. So I love this. So once they actually have suspects and they are brought in, they could use this information and be like, okay, well, they like their ego stroked. So we're going to tell them how amazing and what a great crime scene it was, and how, they virtually just got away with it, and just stroke their ego. They might be more confident and willing to just share. And so they use this profile, understanding their behaviors, their personality, to help draw as much information as they can out of them when it comes to like an interview. Okay, let's go to step 5. This is the actual investigation. So once you deliver a profile, okay, then you're going to deliver it and give it out to all the police officers. And you see that in the video clip. Deliver it out, and then off they go. So It might be to the police force, it might just be to your own FBI investigative team, or heck, it could be to the entire nation, the world. Okay? But this is the profiles given to the investigators on the case and to organizations that may have data leading to the identification of a suspect. The profile may be reassessed if no leads are found and new information is learned. So this is huge. So you go off and investigate and everything goes cold. Well, this is the one step, step 5 out of step 6s, right? Out of 6 steps. Step 5 is when they're going to go back to the very beginning. So if this isn't working, then they're going to go back to step 1 and reanalyze, reevaluate the evidence. See if they missed something at the crime scene. All right, and then hopefully it leads to the apprehension of the criminal. So once you follow those 5 steps, gathering the evidence, making connections, reconstructing the crime scene, delivering the profile, and actually investigating. Once you've done those 5 steps, hopefully it leads to the apprehension of the criminal. The sad part is only 50% of those cases that's actually true in. Okay? All right. Let's just read through this. This kind of talks about if, well, let me make sure. If the investigators have reasons to believe the suspect is the perpetrator, a warrant is obtained for the arrested individual, usually followed by a trial with expert witnesses, including forensic psychologists, forensic experts. Anybody that's a forensic expert could be called into court, involved in the crime scene analysis. So, anyways, okay, so what I was thinking to that slide, I want to go back and just talk about remembering what these steps are and what each of them do. Okay, so profiling input, gathering all the evidence. Step 2, decision process models, making connections. Step 3 is the crime assessment, so that's reconstruction of the crime scene. Okay, step 4 is criminal profiling. Delivering all 3 of those, all the evidence, all the prediction behaviors, and delivering that out to whatever task force they could use to help investigate. And then you get to step 5, like we said, the actual investigation itself. And if leads go cold in step 5, then you got to reverse and go back to step 1 and re-look at the evidence. Okay, profiling input. Input is just gathering all you possibly can from the crime scene. And then finally, step 6, the apprehension. Okay. So these are the 6 steps that's involved when the FBI is analyzing a crime scene. So it's known as FBI's crime scene analysis. Okay, 6 steps FBI uses to analyze a crime scene. All right, you guys. So at this point, I am going to have you guys go on, and I want you to take quiz. Let's see what this says over here. Yeah, so you should be taking quiz number 4. Okay. All right, good luck, you guys.